Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your Akazaki Yahoo, and I start this broadcast as I would start any broadcast by first of all giving all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say shalom, Wabaruki. That is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High Power, under one covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm joined this evening by my most esteemed Akinanaya. Shalom, Aki.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. All praises to the Most High for allowing us another opportunity to dig into this word.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. All praises to Abba for another chance. And Toda Abba Yahuwah for us coming to a place where we can complete another book. Ezekiel, this will be the last read for us in this book for this series.
Hey, all praises.
Hallelujah. Another completed book. Praises to the Father. You know, we're just talking about how the Abba had put on us to be consistent in these things. And we've been able to accomplish and consume, book after book after book, and not just, reading it, but to be edified from it and in what we've been doing. And so praises to the Abba because he's been faithful. He's been faithful and with us in this process. So hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. All praises indeed. Let's get to it. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter number 43 and verse number 1. The vision of the glory of the Most High filling the temple. So the vision of the glory of the Most High filling the temple. Verse 1. Afterward, he brought me to the gate, even the gate that looked toward the east. And behold, the glory of the Most High, the glory of the power of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like the noise of many waters. You know who that is?
That's Mashiach.
Khan. That's the one they call ignorantly called JC, but the Hamashiach indeed.
And just, a real quick recap on what we've read in the last 3 chapters previously. Ezekiel has been, I believe, told to make the measurements of the temple. So, in the last 2 chapters, he talks about those measurements from the east, the west, the south, and the north. Now he's talking about what he's actually seeing in this temple.
Correct. Yeah, indeed. And they saying the high priest, because that's what Hamashiach is for Israel, Yashal. So, indeed. He had a voice like many waters, and the earth shine with his glory. That's beautiful. The earth shine with his glory. Verse 3. And it was according to the appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the vision that I saw by the river Chabar. And I fell upon my face. And the glory of Yahuwah came into the house by the way, by the way of the gate, which prospected. Let me start that over. And the glory of Yahuwah came into the house by the way of the gate, whose prospect is towards the east. So the Ruach took me up and brought me unto the inner court. And behold, the glory of Yahuwah filled the house. All praises. So the glory of Abba, which is Hamashiach,
Indeed,
filled the entire house of the temple.
And I remember reading a similar verse in Torah where it talks about the glory of the Most High filling the tabernacle. When Moshe was leading our ancestors out of Mizraim after this tabernacle was created.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Continue here, verse 6. He says, "And I heard him speak unto me out of the house, and the man took me, and the man stood by me. And he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne, and the place of the sole of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever.
Mm-hmm.
And my set apart name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcasses of their kings in their high places." So he's telling this is now we got a clear picture here. This is Hamashiach in this vision. This is a vision that Yehezqeel has seen. And in this vision, Hamashiach, who has the voice of many waters, as described in a couple of different times in the text. And I didn't know that this was in here until we read it here and now. But he's telling him that evil that Israel is known for, that Yasha'al is known for, is not going to be happening. We're not going to defile his name. We're not going to be making him look bad and profaning him. So, and I can't wait for that day when my people have got it right and doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a glorious, glorious day. Glorious day. A long time in the making as well.
Kind, indeed, 1,000%. Indeed. Continuing here, verse 8. "And their settings by their threshold, by my threshold, by my thresholds, and their posts by my posts, and the wall between me and them, they have defiled my set apart name by their abominations that they have committed. Wherefore I have consumed them in my anger." So he's taking the credit, like I'm the one that did all of this. So in this vision that he's seeing, he's laying this out. So this is, we have an understanding here that this is Hamashiach, who we would call Hamashiach, the Messiah, who he's speaking to, and he's taking the credit for what has transpired, the captivity and all, the consuming of our people, and them doing this wickedness, but to him. He's saying this was done to me. So yeah, he's drawing a clear picture here. Verse 9. Now let them put away their whoredom and the carcasses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. You, son of man, show the house of Israel that they may be ashamed of their iniquity, and let them measure the pattern. And if they be ashamed and all that of all that they have done, show them the form of the house, and the fashion thereof, and the going out thereof, and the coming in thereof, and all the form thereof, and all the ordinance thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the laws thereof, and write it in their sight, that they may keep the whole form thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and do them.
No getting around it. It's no getting around it. Some of our brothers and sisters in the church will tell us that these laws are done away with, and we don't have to do this anymore. This is not what the Abba is instructing. Well, Salakia, this is not what our high priest is instructing one of his prophets.
I mean, right here in the book of Ezekiel, I mean, he's making it clear and plain, right on the page. So, you can't get around it. You can't say it's got to be something else. No, this is not a metaphor he's speaking. He's making it clear and plain. This is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to be. So, conform, you're going to get left over. You're going to get run over.
God.
Indeed. Verse 12. This is the house, Slaki. This is the Torah of the house upon the top of the mountain. The whole limit thereof, round about, shall be most set apart. Behold, this is the law. This is the Torah of the house. Slaki, I'll be trying to put the words back as it should be to give it that effect. This is the Torah, the instruction, the law of the house. The altar of sacrifice, still Ezekiel chapter 43, verse number 13. And these are the measurements of the altar about the cubit, after the cubits. The cubit is a cubit, and the handbreadth, even the bottom, shall be a cubit, and the breadth a cubit, and the border thereof by the edge thereof round about shall be a span, and this shall be the high place of the altar. Now, I know we looked at these measurements: the cubit, the span, the breadth. I can't remember what those were.
It's like it slips my mind.
Yeah.
I do know that it was something that was, that whatever it was, they was like that on all sides. You know what I mean? It was the same measurements. I believe one time we did read that there were slightly a couple of more steps on one side than the other, but for the most part, it was the same measurements throughout.
Oh, east side, yeah. The reason I said that is because even there, when I was reading that, we talk about a cubit or 2 cubits. So if a cubit, like when you're talking, if you say a yard, to make it more relatable, you can say 3 feet. You know what I'm saying? To help people, okay, 3 feet. I know what a foot is. 3 of those that make it, more relatable. So same thing here. If a cubit was equivalent to, 3 feet or 2 feet or whatever, then, that'll kind of help people understand. I don't know let me see if it says it.
Yeah, and I want to say the cubit was 18 feet. So rather than being so rather than being 3 feet in a yard, you would have 6 feet in a cubit, I believe.
That's right. It's roughly 18 inches. So
okay, I was off then.
No, you was right. You said
well,
feet.
Yeah, I said feet. I meant inch con.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I knew exactly what you was when you said that, because it triggered my remembrance when you said that. So yeah, con, that makes good. So all right, continuing here in verse 14, it says, and from the bottom up on the ground, even to the lower settle, shall be 2 cubits. So that's roughly 3 feet. The breadth 1 cubit, and the least, the lesser settle, even to the greater, shall be 4 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. Verse 15. So the altar shall be 4 cubits, and the altar and upward shall be 4 horns. I remember us looking at that horn too. Let's take a look at that real quick. I can't remember.
Yeah, kind of slipped my mind as well.
Yeah, these ones. Let's see. I remember us looking at. Where did I click on?
Kareem.
I click on horn. Yeah, I did. Okay, I was thinking that it was. I thought this was a measurement. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken here. All right, continue. I thought this was a measurement that he was talking about here. Okay, verse 16. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, 12 broad, square. Let me start that over. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, 12 broad, square in the four squares thereof. And the settle shall be 14 cubits long, and 14 broad in the four squares thereof. And the broad about it shall be half a cubit, and the bottom thereof shall be a cubit about. And his stairs shall look towards the east. So it's important. So it's important to now I'm trying to remember when we were reading this about 2 chapters ago, which would have been last week. Did he make mention as to where this vision was taking place? Because I'm not baffled, but I'm kind of, it's ironic that he's mentioned the east all these times, because I was thinking that they were in Jerusalem, but maybe they're in where the captivity is.
Well, if that was the case, he would have been looking west
instead of to Jerusalem.
Yeah, he would have looked, because Babylon was to the west of Jerusalem.
It was to the west, not the north.
Say it again.
You said not the north.
Well, like if you look at it on the map,
kind of northwest.
Yeah, it would have been Babylon was northeast of Jerusalem. So maybe he's looking to the captivity.
Okay. Well, that makes sense too. That makes sense, man. Yeah. Okay. We'll continue here. The offering. Verse 18. And he said unto me, Son of man, thus saith the master, or Adonai Yahuwah, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it, to offer burnt offerings thereon, and sprinkle blood thereon. And those shall give the priests, the Levites, to be of the seed of Zodek, which approach unto me, to minister unto me, saith Adonai Yahuwah, a young buck for a sin, for a sin offering. And you shall take thereof, excuse me, and you shall take the blood thereof, and put it on the four horns of it, and on the four corners of the settle, and upon the border round about. Thus shall you cleanse and purge it. You shall take the bullock also of the sin offering, and he shall burn it in its appointed place of the house, without the sanctuary. And in the second day you shall offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with the bullock. When you have made an end of cleansing it, you shall offer the young bullock without blemish, and the ram out of the flock without blemish. And you shall offer them before Yahuwah, and the priests shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them for a burnt offering unto Yahuwah. 7 days shall you prepare for every day a goat for a sin offering, and you shall also prepare a young bullock and a ram out of the flock without blemish. 7 days they shall purge. That's a you, Slacky. Yeah. Shall you? Yeah. Okay, my bad. I thought I read that wrong at the seeing they right there. Slacky. Okay, that's how my mind works. Verse 26, Slacky, verse 26. 7 days shall you purge the altar and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and look, and so forward, the priest shall make your burnt offering upon the altar and your peace offering, and I will accept you, saith Adonai Yahuwah. So he giving us information on how to complete the offering so that we'll be accepted. So those offerings are coming back. We'd have got complacent without offerings. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing the spiritual offering, but those offerings coming back.
Indeed. And, that's also letting us know that we will have our own land to be, farmers, and agriculture will be, a big part of our society again. And, there was a point even in this captivity, that was the occupation of my near ancestors here in this country. They were farmers and had land, had animals. Now they were, raising these hogs as well, but all that is coming back, returning to ancient past.
Absolutely, 100%. One of my elders used to say that the sacrifices were not done away, but were basically paused, because there's a time where we weren't doing those things, or we're not doing those things. That time is now, but as we're reading right here in the text, yes, indeed, that time is going to come to an end, and we're going to have some clear and concise instruction on how to handle it. And I wonder, is he going to give us some instruction at that time, or is he going to say, "You got the book, get in there and do it"?
I have to believe that there will be. It's going to put it in our hearts. If there's nobody to instruct us, the Ruach will lead us. And Mashiach said that as well. He said, the Ruach will lead you in all truths.
And bring all things to your remembrance, indeed. Right, you have brothers like in ancient time Bezalel, how he put it in him to just be able to work it with his hands and just yes, indeed. All right, continuing here, the book of Yehezqēl, chapter 44, verse 1, gate for the prince. Then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looked towards the east, and it was shut. Then I said, Then said Yahuwah unto me, the gate shall be shut, it shall not be opened. No man shall enter in by it, because Yahuwah, the power of Israel, have entered in by it. Therefore, it shall be shut. So, what's the similitude there? So he's I guess you could say he's the beginning and the end. The olive and the tie.
Indeed,
All right. So because he enters by the end of that gate, nobody else comes in. So that gate is shut. That's kind of how I take that one. All right, verse 43. It is for the prince. The prince, he shall sit in it and eat bread before Yahuwah. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and go out by the way of the same. Who is this prince, I wonder? Is this talking about, because this is him talking, but he said that though. He said, because Yahuwah, power of Israel, shall enter in by it. Therefore, it shall be shut. So is he talking about himself? Because it almost make you, when he say prince, it almost make you think Dawid. Because he said in this same book, Dawid will be a prince forever. But look, he called himself the son of Dawid, though. Let's continue. I don't want to get too deep, get to overanalyzing. Verse 4. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of Yahuwah filled the house. of Yahuwah, and I fell upon my face. So when the glory of the Most High come down, you're not going to be standing there looking at it at all. You're going to get on your face because it's going to be greater than you can handle. Verse 5, that's going to show that humility. You're not going to be standing there with your arms folded. You know what I'm saying? Looking up. Nah. Verse 5, and Yahuwah said unto me, Son of man, mark well, and behold with your eyes, and hear with your ears all that I say unto you concerning all the ordinances of the house of Yahuwah, and all the Torah thereof, and mark well the entering of the house, with every going forth in the sanctuary. And you shall say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, O you house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations. All right, let the instruction suffice you of all your abominations. Kind of like, and that's what it do. That's what the instruction is meant to do. That's what the Torah is meant to do, is show you, man, you off. You can't do that. You can't be doing that. That's out of bounds. That's out of line. You're going against Ha'abah. He's gonna kill you. Don't do that. Verse 7. All right. That's the reality. Verse 7. And that you have brought into my sanctuary strangers, oh my, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when you offered my bread, the fat of the blood, it's like the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And you have not kept my charge of my set apart things, but have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves. Verse 9. Thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary. Any stranger that is among the children of Israel. Boy, they have a hard time with this one in the church.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. You've got some Gentiles that believe it in their heart that they're going to be in the temple and on the same status as Yahshua. I don't want to say that they won't be in the kingdom, but there's levels to this. There's levels to this, man. And he pulled us away from the Gentiles for his purpose, his glory. Right. And to argue that is to argue with the word.
Okay. Yeah, he established his order. And this is what he is. You know what I'm saying? So no man has any right to say, no, it's gonna be this, or no, it's gonna be something different. Because this is what he said in the Torah. We're not making this off the top of our head. We read this in the text. You say we talk about the people on the first day of the week. It's some Sabbath keepers that have some problems with that.
Okay.
And it's some Gentiles that believe they're gonna be the priests.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be at that capacity.
Now I believe that they will be ministers. They'll be ministering to us, and because all a minister is someone who helps. And he says that strangers will be your vine dressers and your husbandmen. And take care of your flocks.
Absolutely. 100%. Indeed. Continuing here, verse 10. And the Levites that are gone away from me, when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, they shall even bear their iniquity. Levi, y'all not gonna get away. whoever y'all are, not whoever,
God.
but whichever Negroes y'all are, y'all not gonna get away. Verse 11. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuaries, Slakia, having charge at the gate of the house and ministering at the house, and they shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them, because they ministered unto them before their idols, and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Therefore have I lifted up my hand against them, saith Adonai Yahuwah, and they shall bear their iniquity. And they shall not come near unto me, to do the office of the priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my Kodesh things, or set apart things, in the most set apart place, but they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. But I will make them keepers of the charge of the house, and all the service thereof, and for all that shall be done therein. The ordinance of the Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Levi, y'all, I would say y'all look. He's like, I ain't gonna get rid of you, but I'm gonna cut you down. Verse 15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zodok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me and minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith Adonai Yahuwah. And they shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me. They shall keep my charge. They shall come, and it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gate of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, whilst they enter at the gate of the inner court and within. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and they shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. Yeah, we saw that in Torah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Verse 19. And when they go forth into the other court, even unto the other court of the people, they shall put off their garments within they minister, and lay them in the set apart chamber, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garment. Yeah, we read that there too. So Abba don't change. It's said, it's written.
Mm-hmm.
I am Yahuwah, I change not. Yes, indeed.
And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, to be able to connect these dots.
Yeah. I mean, how strange would it be if we was reading it? All right, I'm gonna give you a whole new way of doing things.
Right.
Everything that you did before, you're not gonna do that anymore. Now you're gonna do it this way.
Right. And the fact that we're told in the so-called new to study to show yourself approved. Study
right.
what?
Exactly, because it wasn't new. It wasn't. They didn't have a new.
Right.
He was writing it. You know what I'm saying? This was a letter he was writing.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a wonderful point. Wonderful. Continuing, verse 20. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. Neither shall the priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. Neither shall they.
The polling of the hair. What is that?
You know what? Let's look at that. Let's see what Paul is talking about. 44 and 20. Kassam. To cut clip, trim, shear.
Okay.
So yeah, keep it nice and neat, I guess. It's ironic because I was telling somebody here recently, like my hair is so tight, you know what I'm saying? Like it's long, but it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't get out of control because it draws up so tight. Like I put moisturizer on it, I put some grease on it. Oh yeah, see the verse 20 right here. He says, "And their head shall not shave, nor shall they let their hair grow long, but they shall keep their hair well trimmed." That's how they said it in the scriptures. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. You and I talked about before getting on the call, where we're at as a people, and what it's going to be like when we all are walking in order and in our purpose. We're reading it here. We're reading it here. So we've got some things to tighten up as a people.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Yeah. So neither shall they drink wine in a court. Verse 22. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away, but they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. Or a widow that had a priest before. So she must have been married to a priest before.
Yeah, indeed. And it looks like those are the only widows that are remarrying.
Wow. But a maiden of the seed of the house of Israel, or widows of priests. So the priest died and he left his woman. You can marry her. You can't marry these other women. Wow. Think about that.
Man, but it makes sense. If you and I, we talk about the folly that we see, and a lot of the folly that you and I inherited was just that. It was the way that our society was. It was the way that our people were. I'm not judging anybody, man, but as a people, we have been walking contrary to Torah, walking very loosely.
Indeed.
And we're reading here of things being tightened up and how that's starting, and it's starting with the family.
Right. Tighten way up, indeed. Taking all the slack out that belt. Indeed. Verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the set apart and the profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Nah, but there's no unclean anymore.
Kyle, let me read that one more time. Verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the set apart and the profane. What's set apart? The children of Israel. And the profane, the heathen. And cause them to discern between the clean, the unclean. What's the unclean? The swine. And the clean. What's the clean?
Some lamb.
The lamb. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Praise to Ha'abah. Verse 24. Yeah.
That's what we be trying to do now, with our people.
Absolutely. We be trying to tell them you can't be doing these things. And then some of them get so turned off by that. And I can't be down with y'all if y'all, something so simple as you can't eat swine, or you can't eat shrimp, or you can't eat lobster. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do it.
Y'all in the cup, man.
Y'all bugging out. Like, bruh. The one who made that said that he didn't make it for you to eat. So you don't do that. That's the unclean. You supposed to be clean. How you gonna be clean if you eating unclean? I mean, it's that simple. All right, continue. So, yeah, kind of praises to Ha'abah. Because don't get me wrong, because it's not these brothers, it's not the Israelites coming into the truth that's just so good that we just decided, we was gonna do these things or whatever case. This is how Abba putting this inside of us so that we start portraying it out. So it's not that, oh, these brothers think they this and that. No. We hear the word and we respond to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's not because we so much better. It's nothing like that. The Father then put it in us to follow what we read. So when we read this and we get this instruction, we know that this is what it is we're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't got a buck against it.
Now do what I would say.
Exactly. It's that simple. It's that simple, literally. Verse 24. And in controversies, they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgment. Right. I had to pause right there for a minute. I had to pause right there. So let me read that one more time. He said, and in controversy, they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgments. And they shall keep my Torah and my statutes and all my assemblies.
Man, this is beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is, indeed. Continuing, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths.
Mm-hmm.
So this is still talking about the priests, at least the sons of
Zadok.
Zadok. Okay, Kai. Yeah. So
but
these
he didn't say Yasharal, like he hadn't included Yasharal in that.
Well, okay, let's go up a little bit. Hold on,
I want to say it's those sons are the ones that are teaching the people what's the profane and what's the set apart, what's the unclean and what's the clean. So I'm thinking that this is inclusive to those who endure to the end and make it to this point.
Well, full context, right here, you see this little mark right here, as I understand it, this is where a new chapter start, or not chapter, this is where a new subject start.
Okay.
So we see right here, he says, but the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept my charge in my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me and came near to minister unto me, shall stand before me and offer unto me the fat and the blood, said Adonai Yahuwah. So continuing down,
it's still they,
as the sons of Zadok, you know what I'm saying? Still, so as we come down, we see here another, they shall have linen bonnets on their heads and shall, so still that's the sons of Zadok.
Indeed,
now, here's this is like a new thought, kind of like, but it says, neither shall they, we know from Torah, this was said about the priests, they shall not make baldness on their heads. So neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long, but they shall, be well groomed, or be well, their hair should be well trimmed. Neither shall any priest, so he's reiterating who he's talking about, neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the court. Neither shall they take wives of the widows. So this is still the sons of Zadok here. So when we get down to this place, he's talking about, and in a controversy, they, the sons of Zadok, or the priests, shall stand in judgment and shall judge it according to my judgment. So these are still Levites. These are just, instead of limiting it or broadening it to Levi, he's saying these particular ones. He's not saying the sons of Aaron, but I'm sure Zadok, isn't he a descendant of Aaron?
He is indeed. He indeed is.
Yep. I figured that because, again, Abba don't change.
All right. That's right, That's right. That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Indeed. He just called him Zadok, but you go back further, and it's to Aaron. Right.
And see, it makes sense, because here's how it was separated. It was separated, Levi. All the sons of Levi become ministers, but the priest was reserved for Aharon and his sons. 2 of those sons were killed, so they, those sons are, I'm not sure what happened to their sons, but Aharon was from the line of Kohath. Kohath had other sons, these other sons try to throw a rebellion against
Mhm.
Moshe, with Korah,
Right.
but Samuel was a son of Korah,
Yeah, he lived.
so he just he's still separating and setting apart his
Mhm.
people. Likewise, how he set Dawid apart. You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
it's a thing that the Abba does. You
Right.
know, sees something in an individual, understands how he can use this individual,
Mhm.
measures this person's heart. I
Right.
can use this person.
Khan. Khan, 100%. That was a good point about especially about Dawid, because he separated him directly from his brothers.
Indeed,
And made a choice. Nope, not these, not that one, not this one. Do you have any other son?
God.
Oh, just the youngest. He's out there with the sheep.
Yeah. So
Oh,
so Yehezqėl prophesied and said that the scepter would not leave Yehuda,
mm-hmm.
and the Most High agreed with that. He
Khan.
just saw something with one of the sons of Yehuda in
Mm-hmm.
Dawid and
Khan.
set him apart.
100%. 100%. And that's where the very line that
Indeed.
Hamashiach came from.
Indeed. Indeed.
Praise to the Father. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Indeed. Verse 25. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves, but for father or for mother or for son or for daughter, for brother or for sister that have not husband, they may defile themselves. That's the same thing as in Torah.
Indeed. And what's remarkable about this,
Mm-hmm.
this is how the Igbo, this is how they roll now.
Oh, wow.
When one of them dies, it's only certain people that will even go into the house and,
Oh,
and
wow.
remove that person and touch that person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
But they say they come from Gad. They come from Erie, the line of Erie, which was a son of Gad. But it's just I think that I think they had knowledge of the word, so they were
that.
probably trying to move in that order.
Praises. Praises to the Father. Anybody that's trying to keep it right, all praises.
Indeed.
Indeed. Verse 26. And after he is cleansed, he shall reckon unto him 7 days. And in the day that he goeth into the sanctuary unto the inner court to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, saith Adonai Yahuwah. And it shall be unto me for Slakia. No, I read it right. I was thinking it. I thought I messed up, but he said, "And it shall be unto them." Oh, okay, my bad. I messed that up. I did mess that up. I thought when I said that I thought it was they.
Mm-hmm.
That's when and then I saw that them, and I thought that was me. So my bad. I messed that up. Let me read it again. Verse 28. And it shall be unto them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance. And you shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. And they shall eat meat. They shall eat meat offering and the sin offering and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs.
That's Torah.
That's
That's Torah.
Torah.
That's law.
And the sons of Aaron. That's exactly what. Yeah, we read over that. Back when we was in that portion of it.
God.
Indeed. Verse 30. And the first of all the first fruit of all things, and every oblation of every sort of your oblations shall be the priest. And you shall also give unto the priest the first of your dough, and he shall that he may cause the blessing, the barakah, to rest in your house. The priest shall not eat anything that is that is dead by itself or torn, rather it be fowl or beast. So anything that died of itself, that he get. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he gave that to all of us.
Yeah, Khan, indeed. And I believe that it's still inclusive.
Okay.
But this is something that evidently our people had done away with doing. You know, but he's proclaiming this. This is also futuristic prophecy. So if the law is done away with, we wouldn't be reading about how that's going to be in the future.
In the future, in the kingdom come. All right. At the time of restoration. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Indeed. Continuing here, verse chapter 45, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 45, verse 1. Yahuwah's portion of the land. Moreover, when you shall divide by lot the land for inheritance, you shall offer an oblation unto Yahuwah, a set apart portion of the land. The length shall be the length of 25,000 reeds. The breadth shall be 10,000. This shall be set apart land in all your borders thereof round about. 20,000 reeds. What did we say? Let me see what we see what a reed is. What is it, like an acre?
Yeah, that's some type of measurement. I'm not exactly sure. Man, it doesn't even look like it's it looks like it's included with breadths as well.
Yeah, with expansion. Yeah. Literally or figuratively. No, it's not really giving it to us. Okay, no sweat. We'll continue here. Verse 2. Of this there shall be for the sanctuary 500 in length and 500 in breadth, square round about, and 5 cubits round about for the shrubs thereof. Suburbs, Salaki, for the suburbs thereof, Salaki. I thought it's shrub. Well, it looks similar. Verse 3. And of this measure shall you measure the length of 5 and 20,000, and the breadth of 10,000, and it shall be the sanctuary of the most high, of the most set apart place. The set apart portion of the land shall be for the priests and the ministers of the sanctuary, which shall come near to minister unto Yahuwah, and it shall be a place for their houses, and the set apart place for the sanctuary. And the 5 and 20,000 of length, and the 10,000 of breadth shall also the Levites, the ministers of the house, have for themselves, for a possession for 20 chambers. And you shall appoint the possession of the city 5,000 boards, and 5 and 20,000 long.
That's broad.
Oh, okay. I said that. I thought I said that's not right. I was like, boy, okay, broad. My bad. It's like, I thought that sounded ironic when I read it. Yeah, all right. All right, let me start from the top here. And you shall appoint in the possession of the city 5,000 broad and 5 and 20,000 long over against the obligation of the set apart portion. And it shall be for the whole house of Israel. Portion for the prince. And a portion shall be for the prince on the one side, and on the other side for the obligation of the set apart portion, and of the possession of the city there before the obligation on the set apart portion, and before the possession of the city, from the west side westward, and from the east side eastward, and the length shall be over against one of the portions, from the west border unto the east border. In the land thereof, and the land shall be his possession in Israel, and my princes shall no more oppress my people, and the rest of the land shall they give to the house of Israel according to their tribes. Thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, let this suffice you, O princes of Israel. Remove violence and spoil the execution and execute slacking. I don't know why I'm trying to read this all together. He's breaking it up for me. Let me start that over. Thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, let it suffice you, O prince of Israel, O princess of Israel. Remove violence and spoil, and execute judgment and justice. Take away your exaction from my people, saith Adonai Yahuwah. Yet you shall have just balances, and just ephod, and just bath. The ephod and the bath shall be of one measure, that the bath may contain 1/10 part of an omer, and the ephod 1/10 part of an omer. The measure thereof shall be after the omer, and the shekel shall be 20 gerats, 20 shekels, 5 and 20 shekels, 15 shekels shall be your many. Is that right?
Yeah, calm. I'm not sure what it is though.
Yeah. So I'm thinking he's establishing the measurements, because I think they were doing, they went off. He don't do that unjust. He don't do that. He do equity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He should have just balances and just ephrons and just baths. Like, y'all been doing your own thing and y'all been cheating y'all people, and we're not gonna do that anymore. Or you're not gonna do that anymore. I ain't never done it. He's talking to them. this is him talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how y'all measurements are gonna go. So if we go into this, we know about the shekel. That's a weight of money, and I don't know what this garah. I think that's just a measurement. Garah. Gerah. A weight, a 20th part of a shekel.
Mm-hmm.
A 20th part of a shekel. My goodness.
Yeah, so like a penny.
Right.
That's the way currency used to be. It used to be by weight, because it was precious metals. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Gold, is being one of those precious metals, and the weight of it would be more expensive.
Right. Okay. Kind. Yeah. Yeah. So they was cheating,
Mm-hmm.
and he's restoring that. Like, look here, y'all gonna do this thing right. Ain't gonna be no more fighting. Indeed. So, continuing verse 13. This is the obligation that you shall offer: a 6th part of an ephod of a homer of wheat, and you shall give a 6th part of an ephod of a homer of barley. Concerning the ordinance of oil, a bath of oil, you shall offer a 10th part of a bath out of the core, C-O-R, the core, which is an omer of 10th baths. For 10 baths, which is an omer of 10 baths. For 10 baths are an omer. So he's establishing it, reestablishing it, because I know we went over this in Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's basically he's putting it back in place. Okay. This is what's going to be in the end time. Mm-hmm. We won't have any more pounds and what's the other term? Metrics.
Right.
Yeah, won't be any more of that. No more kilograms and grams and ounces and none of that stuff. Verse 15. And one lamb out of the flock, two. Let me start that again. And one lamb out of the flock, out of 200, out of the fat pasture of Israel, for a meat offering, and for a burnt offering, and for a peace offering, to make reconciliation for them, saith Adonai Yahuwah. All the people of the land shall give this oblation for the prince of Israel, for the prince in Israel. And it shall be the prince's part to give burnt offerings and meat offerings and drink offerings in the feast and in the new moons and in the Sabbaths and in the solemn in the solemnities of the house of Israel. He shall prepare the sin offering and the meat offering and the burnt offering and the peace offering to make reconciliation for the house of Israel. That sounds like him. But it's ironic he kind of talking about himself in third person like that. Verse 18. Thus saith Adonai Yahuwah, in the first month, in the first day of the month, you shall take a young bullock without blemish and cleanse the sanctuary. And the priest shall take the blood of the sin offering and put it upon the posts of the house and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar and upon the posts of the gate of the inner court. And so you shall do the seventh day of the month, every one that err, and for him that is simple, so shall he reconcile the house. And for him that is simple, so shall he reconcile the house. Okay, I thought I read that right. In 21. In the first month, in the 14th day of the month, you shall have the Passover, a feast for 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten. And unto that day shall the prince prepare for himself and for all the people of the land bullock for a sin offering. So he's talking about the Passover. This will be the first Passover out of captivity. That's what he's talking about. I remember mentioning that before, where it started 21. The first month and the 14th day of the month, you shall have the Passover. Like, y'all imagine that first Passover? Like, it's gonna be on.
But check this out. Maybe last weekend, or it had to have been last weekend. You know, there's a gospel producer. He's the husband of one of the singers in the gospel group, Mary. Okay. He's been promoting a show that was going to be on TBN, and it talks about how Mashiach fulfilled all the feast days, and they were getting into a look in the feast days, and you know, a lot of our people, you know, are interested now in it. You know, I felt some type of way, hearing him say it and seeing the, you know, and I was wrong. Y'all forgive me, because I should just be pleased that our people are coming around, coming around to things that we've been saying. Right. So, you know, again, you know, it's not on Kenaniah's time. These things are on Abba's time, but we see these things. We see the restoration of Yasharal happening, and right now it just seems like, you know, a lot of catastrophes going on. But this all has to be for the restoration of our people.
Kind indeed. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's a lot of irony in that, because, you know, our people have found their ways into all this idolatry, and yet we've read, you know, in the last few weeks, we've read in this book and in the other major prophets especially, and even in the minor prophets, about how that idolatry was such a problem, and the Abba is going to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going it's not going to be swept under the rug. It's going to be dealt with, and even that, you know, our people, they can deal with these so-called holidays, but man, it's amazing that they have such a problem with what's written in the text.
God.
You know, but yeah, like you said, Abba's gonna do it in his time, and when this time comes, guess what? Ain't nobody gonna be able to say I don't do Passover.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to. Ain't nobody gonna dare open their mouth and say anything close to that. So, yeah, this is coming. It's just a matter of time. So, verse 22. Yeah, he gonna show us everything we've been doing wrong. I imagine, and show us by doing this, by showing us how to do it right.
Man, that's what we need, Doc. That is what we need.
1,000%. So we can all get on one accord.
Indeed, Doc.
Indeed. Won't be no y'all keep y'all's then, we keep ours here. Nah, that's over with.
No.
That's over. Won't be no y'all got the wrong. No, ain't gonna no. Hamashiach say this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he the prince. So all right, verse 22. And upon that day shall the prince prepare for him and for the people of the land a bullock for a sin offering. Well, he not the prince because this prince preparing a sin offering, and we know Mashiach ain't done no sin. Even when he kill up all the people, he gonna kill him. It won't be sin.
No.
He gonna be it's judgment.
Yep.
Yeah, it's righteous judgment. Yeah. Karen, I said judgment. You said righteous judgment. That's absolutely right. Put it in our proper perspective. So, indeed, verse 23. At 7 days of the feast, he shall prepare a burnt offering unto Yahuwah, 7 bullocks and 7 rams without blemish daily, the 7 days, and a kid of the goat daily for a sin offering. And he shall prepare a meat offering of an ephod of a bullock, for a bullock, and an ephod for a ram, and a hin of oil for an ephod. Well, not the ephod. That's a ehan. No, that's ephod.
Yeah, it's ephod.
I don't know why I thought the word changed right there. I'm tripping. Verse 25. In the 7th month, in the 15th day of the month, he shall he do the like in the feast of the 7 days, according to the sin offering, according to the burnt offering, and according to the meat offering, and according to the oil. So yeah, reestablishing the coming of the, the keeping of the ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
Right back to where you were. So y'all got off of it. I sent y'all our way, and I'm gonna bring y'all back, and I'm gonna teach y'all how to do it properly.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. It's not a thing where we should be like, oh well, we don't got to do it then, because I think that's what people do. They'll read this and be like, oh well, we don't got to do it because he's gonna show us how to do it anyway. Like, nah, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, I'm gonna show you how to do it the right way. Right now, we're rehearsing and we're practicing the righteous act.
Indeed, Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You want to take over 46, huh?
Indeed, I keep.
Told everybody.
All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 46, the prince's offerings, verse 1. Thus saith Adonai Yahweh, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be opened, and in the day of the new moon it shall be opened. So again, he's what he said aforetime.
Mm-hmm.
He's reiterating it. What's going to be in the future.
Indeed.
Verse 2. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yahweh in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. And the burnt offering that the prince shall offer unto Yahweh in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And the meat offering shall be an ephah for a ram, and the meat offering for the lambs as he shall be able to give, and a hin of oil to an ephah. And in the day of the new moon it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram, they shall be without blemish. And he shall prepare a meat offering and an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs according as his hand shall attain unto, and a hin of oil to an ephah. And when the prince shall enter, he shall go in by the way of the porch of that gate, and he shall go forth by the way thereof. But when the people of the land shall come before Yahweh in the solemn feast, he that entereth in by the way of the north gate to worship shall go out by the way of the south gate, and he that entereth in by the south gate shall go forth by the way of the north gate. He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came in, but shall go forth over against it. So, it's going to be people going north and south in different directions,
Okay.
Verse 10, and the prince in the midst of them, when they go in, shall go, Salakia, and the prince in the midst of them, when they go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. And in the feast and in the solemnities, the meat offering shall be an ephah to a bullock, and an ephah to a ram, and to the lambs as he is able to give, and a hin of oil to an ephah. Now when the prince shall prepare a voluntary burnt offering or peace offering, voluntary unto Yahweh, one shall then open him the gate that looketh toward the east, and he shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, as he did on the Sabbath day. Then he shall go forth, and after his going forth, one shall shut the gate. Thou shalt daily prepare a burnt offering unto Yahweh of a lamb of the first year without blemish. Thou shalt prepare it every morning. And thou shalt prepare a morning, Slakia, and thou shalt prepare a meat offering for it every morning, the 6th part of an ephah, and the 3rd part of a hin of oil, to temper with the fine flour, a meat offering continually by a perpetual ordinance unto Yahweh. This was what we read in Leviticus as well, of how we are supposed to continually have these offerings going forth.
Operate the sacrifice, indeed.
All right. Verse 15. Thus shall they prepare the lamb and the meat offering and the oil every morning for a continual burnt offering. Thus saith Adonai Yahweh, if the prince give a gift unto any of his sons, the inheritance thereof shall be his sons. It shall be their possession by inheritance. But if he give a gift of his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be his to the year of the liberty, after it shall return to the prince. But his inheritance shall be his sons for them. So this liberty, the year of liberty, this is speaking about the Jubilee.
Jubilee, yes, indeed.
All right.
1000%.
Verse 18. Moreover, the prince shall not take of the people's inheritance by oppression to thrust them out of their possession, but he shall give his sons inheritance out of his own possession, that my people be not scattered every man from his possession. So, when I read that, I couldn't help but to think about Ahaz, and how he tried to take that piece of land that belonged to another man. It was
Jezebel.
Khan.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right. Boiling places, verse 19. After he brought me through the entry, which was at the side of the gate, into the set apart chambers of the priests, which looked toward the north. And behold, there was a place on the two sides westward. Then said he unto me, this is the place where the priest shall boil the trespass offering and the sin offering, where they shall bake the meat offering, that they bear them not out of Salakia, that they bear them not out into the utter court to sanctify the people. Then he brought me forth into the utter court, and caused me to pass by the four corners of the court. And behold, in every corner of the court there was a court. In the four corners of the court there were courts, joined of 40 cubits long and 30 broad. These four corners were of one measure, and there was a row of building round about them four, and it was made with boiling places under the rows round about. Then said he unto me, these are the places of them that boil, where the ministers of the house shall boil the sacrifice of the people.
I don't remember seeing that before. The boiling of a.
You know, I don't either. But you know what it did? It said you don't boil it with milk, I believe, or something like that.
Solid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. This is the book of Yehezqėl, chapter 47. Water from the temple, verse 1. Afterward, he brought me again into the door of the house, and behold, waters issued out from under the threshing hold of the house eastward, for the forefront of the house stood toward the east, and the waters came down from the right side of the house, at the south side of the altar. Then brought he me out of the way of the gate northward, and led me about the way without unto the utter gate by the way that looketh eastward. And behold, there ran out waters on the right side. And when the man that had the line in his hand went forth eastward, he measured 1,000 cubits, and he brought me through the waters. The waters were to the ankles. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through the waters. The waters were to the knees. Again he measured 1,000, and brought me through. The waters were to the loins. So this is increasing.
Getting deeper.
Afterward he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not pass over, for the waters were risen, waters to swim in, a river that could not be passed over. I wonder what this is. I try to visualize these things.
Yeah. I got a little picture in my mind where he, measuring 1,000. So, he go from one place to the ankle, and then as he continues up further out, he's measuring again, and it's just getting deeper. And so as it continues, it goes from where the water is kind of still. But I don't know if this may be a metaphor of some sort, but it goes to where the water is kind of still, and as it continues, it moves forward. I see in this rushing, like white looking water, just because it's rushing so fast. And it's just, yeah, that's how I'm seeing it.
All right, Verse 6. And he said unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Then he brought me and caused me to return to the brink of the river. Now when I had returned, behold, at the bank of the river were very many trees on the one side and on the other. Then said he unto me, these waters issue out toward the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the waters shall be healed. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the river shall come, shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. So, in previous chapters, we read about how the rivers and springs shall shoot forth.
Mm-hmm.
This is uh, this river here is something that gives life,
Mm-hmm.
preserves life.
Right. Bringing fish and bringing life. Yeah.
Hmm. All right, verse 10. And it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from Engedi even unto Egalam. They shall be a place to spread forth nets. Their fish shall be according to their kinds, as the fish of the great sea, exceeding many. But the myriad places thereof and the marshes thereof shall not be healed. They shall be given to salt. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat,
Mm.
whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months,
Mm.
because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine.
Mm.
Wow,
The healing of the nation.
man, this is the restoration.
Right, kind. Yeah, it's a metaphor for the rest of. Wow, yeah,
Uh,
I was right there. He said, when he said for the healing, the leaves there for medicine for the healing of the nation.
uh-huh.
Remember,
You know,
he said that. That's what he said in Revelation.
and then I remember reading somewhere also, where he says the things of the old shall not be as good as the new, or what's going to be in the new is going to be older than or better than what was in the past.
Mm.
And I can't remember, and I kind of jacked it up how I paraphrased it, but this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Kind.
All right, boundaries and division of the land, verse 13. Thus saith Adonai Yahweh, this shall be the border whereby ye shall inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Yasharal. Yourself shall have two portions. So, let me read that again for, those who are thinking that Yasharal is going to be replaced or it's going to
Right.
be somebody else there.
Kind.
Uh, Thus saith Adonai Yahweh, this shall be the border whereby ye shall inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Yasharal.
No.
Yourself,
To the 12 Christian churches. To the
12
12 Christian
tribes of
churches.
Yasharal.
Praise to the Father. Indeed.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Verse 14. And ye shall inherit it, one as well as another, concerning the which I lift up my hand to give it unto your fathers, and this land shall fall unto you for an inheritance. So there it is again,
That's
to
it.
your
That's it.
fathers. Like he wasn't talking about Javin or Yavin or
Mm-mm.
Ashkenazi
No,
uh uh
none of them.
even Canaan or even
None of them.
these other nations.
None of them are. None of them. He was
He
talking
promised this
directly
land
to
to
this right here.
the descendants of Abraham,
That's it.
Isaac, and Yasharal.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And he can't lie. He can't deviate from himself. He
God.
said it, it's gotta happen. And that's just what it is. So no matter what these people saying, no matter what these men saying, no matter what these women saying, Abba will not lie. He cannot lie.
God.
So he gonna do what he said.
That's right. All
Yeah.
praises. Thank you, Abba.
Hallelujah. Praise you, Yah. Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. Verse 15. And this shall be the border of the land toward the north side, from the great sea, the way of Hethlon, as men go by Zedad, Hamath, Borathah, Sibraim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, Hazarath, Hazar, Hazar Hatikan, which is by the coast of Haran, and the border from the sea shall be Hazaran, Slakia, Hazar Enan, the border of Damascus, and the northward, and the border of Hamath, and this is the north side. And the east side ye shall measure from Haran, and from Damascus, and from Gilead, and from the land of Yasharal by Jordan, from the border unto the east sea. And this is the east side. And the south side, southward, from Tamar even to the waters of strife in Kadesh, the river to the great sea. And this is the south side, southward. The west side also shall be the great sea from the border till a man come over against Hamath. This is the west side. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Yasharal. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Yasharal. They shall have an inheritance with you among the tribes of Yasharal. Okay. Yep. I mean, all praises, Abba.
Yeah,
all
we
praises.
we
This
read
is
that
your
in the
will.
Torah too. Yeah,
Yep.
we read that in the Torah as well. So,
All right. So, it says the stranger that sojourn among you. So these are not going to be heathen. These are people who are going to be keeping Torah as well. One law for the stranger as well as the homeborn.
yeah. Now, that's the comparison there, because some of the camps teach that these are the ones that were off like what we were, like we was heathens.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, doing our own thing, and we come back, you consider the stranger, but you know what I'm saying, that's how they teach it. Now, some people are trying to make this into other nations, but that really don't jive, honestly. With everything that we've read, or all the ordinances and all the information, it do make sense that this would be, somebody who was born elsewhere, somebody who was in another, you know what I'm saying? But it seemed at the same time that we ought to come back at this time. But maybe some was left, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that, because it says among the children of Yasharal. So,
right, as it would be among. Yeah, let's look over there. Let's look over here and see verse 47. Let's see if it reads any different over here.
Come.
Just for understanding. It shall be divided in lots. So it's verse 22, chapter 47, verse 22. And it shall be that you divide it by lots and an inheritance for yourselves, and for the stranger who sojourns in the midst of who bear children among you. And they shall be as a native born among the children of Israel. With you, they have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Israel. So, look, they got a little note right here. Okay, so they represent Isaiah 14 and 1, Isaiah 56, 6 through 8, Romans 11, 17 through 26, Ephesians 2, 19, Ephesians 3 and 6, Revelations 21 and 12. That's what they reference as in this book. It says, and it shall be whatever tribe the stranger shall join, there you shall give them inheritance, declares the master. So, right. So I don't know. We'll see. However Abba chooses to do it, that's how it's going to be done. So it's not up to Hezekiel, but like I said, I can understand how they can read that and come to that, but I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't try to tell Mashiach or Ha'aba how they gonna do it.
God. Yeah,
Right.
I'm definitely not gonna be one of those murmuring Israelites.
Right, definitely not.
God. All right. Closing out verse 23. You just read it from the scripts.
Okay.
Back here it reads, and it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith Adonai Yahweh. I will do as I am told.
Indeed. Indeed. So if the stranger. So hold up. Let me go back one more thing. I'm going to just look at that particular word for stranger. 16:16. Gar, sojourner, a temporary inhabitant, a newcomer, lacking inherited rights, foreigners in Israel through conceded rights, a guest by implication, a foreigner, alien, sojourner, stranger. All right. Okay. I'm not gonna push that. So we'll continue.
All right.
Oh, let me get rid of this Strong's.
All right. This is the last book in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 48, or last chapter rather.
Mm-hmm.
Division of the land, verse 1. Now these are the names of the tribes from the north end to the coast of the way of Hethlon, as one goeth to Hamath, Hazar Renan, the border of Damascus northward, to the coast of Hamath. For these are his sides east and west, a portion for Dan. So, I'm glad I'm reading this because,
Right.
I often hear brothers, kind of leave Dan out of all this.
Exactly. Like Dan's reduced, but he's not diminished. He's not gone.
Con.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And by the border of Dan, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Asher. And by the border of Asher, from the east side, even unto the west side, a portion for Naphtali. And by the border of Naphtali, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Manasseh. And by the border of Manasseh, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Ephraim. And by the border of Ephraim, from the east side even unto the west side, a portion for Reuben.
Hmm.
And by the border of Reuben, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Yehudah. And by the border of Yehudah, from the east side unto the west side, shall be the offering which ye shall offer of 25,000 reeds in breadths and in lengths, as one of the other parts, from the east side unto the west side. And the sanctuary shall be in the midst of it. The oblation that ye shall offer unto Yahweh shall be of 25,000 in length, and of 10,000 in breadth. Portion for the priest. Verse 10. And for them, even for the priest, shall be his set apart oblation toward the north, 25,000 in length, and toward the west, 10,000 in breadth, and toward the east, 10,000 in breadth, and toward the south, 25,000 in length. And the sanctuary of Yahweh shall be in the midst thereof. Hallelujah.
Indeed.
Verse 11. It shall be for the priests that are sanctified of the sons of Zadok, which have kept my charge, which went not astray when the children of Yasharal went astray, as the Levites went astray. And this oblation of the land that is offered shall be unto them a thing most set apart by the borders of the Levites. And over against the border of the priests, the Levites shall have Salakia. Verse 13. And over against the border of the priests, the Levites shall have 25,000 in length, and 10,000 in breadth. All the length shall be 25,000, and the breadth 10,000. And they shall not sell of it, neither exchange it, nor alienate the first fruits of the land, for it is set apart unto Yahweh. And the 5,000 that are left in the breadth over against the 25,000 shall be a profane place for the city, for dwelling and for suburbs, and the city shall be in the midst thereof. And these shall be the measures thereof: the north side 4,500, and on the south side 4,500, and on the east side 4,500, and the west side 4,500. And the suburbs of the city shall be toward the north 250, and toward the south 250, and toward the east 250, and toward the west 250. And the residue in length over against the oblation of the set apart portion shall be 10,000 eastward and 10,000 westward. And it shall be over against the oblation of the set apart portion. And the increase thereof shall be for food unto them that serve the city. And they that serve the city shall serve it out of all the tribes of Yasharal. All the oblations shall be 5 and 20,000 by 5 and 20,000. Ye shall offer a set apart oblation 4 square with the possession of the city. Portion of the prince, portion for the prince. Verse 21. And the residue shall be for the prince on the one side and on the other, of the set apart oblation and of the possession of the city, over against the 5 and 20,000 of the oblation toward the east border, and westward over against the 5 and 20,000 toward the west border, over against the portions for the prince, and it shall be set apart oblation. Slakia. And it shall be the set apart oblation, and the sanctuary of the house shall be in the midst thereof. Moreover, from the possession of the Levites and from the possession of the city, being in the midst of that which is the princes, between the border of Yehuda and the border of Benjamin, shall be for the prince. Portion for other tribes. Verse 23. As for the rest of the tribes from the east side unto the west side, Benjamin shall have a portion. And by the border of Benjamin, from the east side unto the west side, Simeon shall have a portion. And by the border of Simeon, from the east side unto the west side, Issachar a portion. And by the border of Issachar, from the east side unto the west side, Zebulun a portion. And by the border of Zebulun, from the east side unto the west side, Gad a portion. And by the border of Gad, at the south side southward, the border shall be even from Tamar unto the waters of strife in Kadesh, and to the river toward the great sea. This is the land which ye shall divide by lot unto the tribes of Yasharal for an inheritance, and these are their portions, saith Adonai Yahweh. So if he said it, it's gonna come to be.
That's it. Yes, indeed.
The city gates, verse 30. And these are the goings out of the city on the north side, 4,500 measures. And the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Yasharal. 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, and 1 gate of Yehuda, 1 gate of Levi. And on the east side, 4,500, and 3 gates, and 1 gate of Joseph, and 1 gate of Benjamin, and 1 gate of Dan. And at the south side, 4,500 measures, and 3 gates, 1 gate of Simeon, 1 gate of Issachar, 1 gate of Zebulun. At the west side, 4,500 with 3 gates, 1 gate of Gad, 1 gate of Asher, 1 gate of Naphtali. It was round about 18,000 measures, and the name of the city from that day shall be Yahweh is there. Let's see. Let's look that up. How would you say that?
Let's see. Right. Let's see.
Shama. Yahweh Shama.
Yahweh Shama. Yahweh Shama.
Mm-hmm.
Shama. Yahweh Shama. The
That's
name of
right.
this place is Yahweh Shama.
Mm-hmm. Oh, symbolic name for Jerusalem. Wow.
Yahweh Shama. Praises to High.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. This is the only place it's mentioned. Yahweh
God.
Shama. You have to remember that Yahweh Shama.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh is there. Hallelujah. Another book completed and another bit of information gathered and learned and edified. Edification has gone forth through the reading of this particular book. Praises to Haba.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts on all that we've read today. We went over the temple and the restoration of Yisrael in the end time. And simply put, I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't read about the several denominations of the so-called church.
Right, God.
We didn't read about the uh, multiple religions in the earth. We read about the restoration of the nation of the children of Israel. That's what we read about. And praise Abba, because everybody who's inserting something else in this text or coming away with an understanding that does not coincide with what's written in the text, I don't know where you're getting that from, but it ain't coming from this book. So praises to the Abba for his promises and for allowing us to go into captivity and lose all that we lost and being Abba enough to bring us back and put us back and give us a small sample. But when the real thing comes, when it's time for the real deal,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's going to be amazing.
Nah.
That first Pesach, that first Passover,
God,
that's going to take place. It's going to be immaculate. I just imagine, and I say the first one because the Pesach is 7 days.
mm-hmm.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread, we're talking 7 days. So I imagine we're going to be getting it ready because you got to sanctify yourself 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Before the 3 times a year our males must appear, and one of those times is during this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine he's going to give us those instructions, and we're going to execute it. And whether he puts it on the inside of us, or he actually, tells us, however he does it, however he chooses to do it, it'll be for the esteem of Hamashiach and Ha'abba. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go ahead.
You know, I'm remembering in my mind, all of these books of the prophets that we read.
Mhm.
Uh, we know that Yeshayahu, Yirmiyahu, and Yehezqėl are mentioned as major prophets, and I believe that their span might have been a longer span than the other prophets.
Mhm.
I know that their chapters are longer than these other prophets. Uh, so I'm kind of conflicted on which one of these three major is my favorite now. You know, I still love Yeshayahu because it's got the prophecies of the Messiah in it, and we get a lot of understanding, and we hear Mashiach mention different scriptures from Yeshayahu.
Okay.
Uh, but the restoration of our people, like
Mhm.
uh, talking about joy,
Okay.
it gives me joy to read uh, what has been written aforetime. Uh, It gives me comfort as well,
Mhm.
because I know and I trust that if the Abba has said it through the mouths of his prophets, it's
Yes,
going to come to pass.
yes, indeed.
Uh, my job is to continue to be, strive for perfection,
Mhm.
and I have that measure of what perfection is from the law. and also, you know, the words of Mashiach, having the faith in him as well, you know, and even he says, you know, if we love him, we keep these commandments.
Indeed.
So, you know, we're currently in some perilous times, but we have every reason to want to continue to endure,
Indeed.
and to be blameless at the end of the day. You know, when I'm returned to the dirt, whether that, you know, if that's before Mashiach cracks the sky, like I want to be one of the ones that rises with him and meets him in the sky. You
In that
know,
first resurrection.
indeed.
Indeed.
All praises to the Most High.
Right.
Man, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I almost want to just stand up and applaud reading this book here. Just, you know what I'm saying? Praise
Encore.
I'm telling you. Hallelujah. Yeah, definitely a wonderful to get into the restoration of our people. And it you know, it will never be soon enough. I mean, you know, it's on Abba's time. But in my living and seeing, you know, our restoration. I know it's on his time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he needs to hurry up. I mean, he's going to do it as he sees fit. Yehezqėl just giving his own observation. Our restoration can't come soon enough. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the righteous kingdom. I'm ready for righteousness to fill the earth. Matter of fact, I'm ready for this earth to be done and for the new earth to come and for the new Shamayim and the new Jerusalem. I'm ready for the new. So I'm ready for these things to happen and for righteousness to reign in the earth, in the land, among the people, and upon the grounds and everywhere. Righteousness to be.
You know, and our people don't know how. A lot of them don't know how beautiful these things are gonna be. You know, to see our sisters no longer starving for attention. To see our brothers walking in purpose as well, no longer desiring to be women or sissified men.
In words.
Man.
No more of that. No more of this ridiculous behavior, unruly attitudes, and you can actually, you know, say something to a sister and she respond respectfully because you are a man of the Most High, not because she look at you like you less than because she a woman, and that's over with. The feminism done. It's eradicated. There is no more. They understand the order and they respect it. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that day. I cannot wait. All praises to Abba.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Indeed. All right. We're going to close it on now with the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter number 12 and verse number 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It is imperative that in the conclusion of the whole matter, we understand that we are to fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Why? Because this is the reason that we were made. At the end of the day, when all the dust is settled and all the smoke is cleared, when it is all said and done, we will be judged, or rather we fear the Most High and kept his commandments. Why? Because this is the entire reason that we were made. I'm Yehezqėl, joined by my most esteemed Akenaniah. We give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah Bahashem, Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel, not the Christian church, but the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
Who are scattered to the four corners of the earth. I say, Shalom Wabaruki, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High restores us again and brings us back together. And we are once again 12 tribes, as we were in the beginning. One family, one nation, one mind. Look, and I want to say, and they all say, So be it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praises to Abba. Until that day, Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, family.
Shalom, Yasharal.
Look, I'm so tripping this evening. Shalom, shalom.